Hey, what's up? This is Kevin from Peacock Inside Tech, and this is my Pixel 4 XL review. The Pixel 4 was probably one of the most leaked phones in smartphone history, even Google leaking it itself, which I actually thought was pretty cool. And even though we knew pretty much everything about this phone before it was released, I feel like it's still probably one of the most hated on phones this year. And I understand the frustration of a lot of people, and I do agree that it's not the best phone of the year, but in my opinion, it's probably one of the most important phones of the year. And I'm going to tell you why I think that in this video. Over the past decade, phones have been pretty much the same. A slab of glass and metal, and you interact with it by touching things on the touchscreen. And this is how we know and love our smartphone. And every year, they get a little faster, a little thinner, slightly better cameras, but overall, still the same thing, just incremental upgrades. And this is how we started to compare phones. Like, this phone has better specs, so it must be the better phone. Pretty easy to buy a new phone. And based on how we typically choose our phones, I would understand why some people think the Pixel 4 is just a mediocre phone or is not as good as the competition, because it comes with 6 gigs of RAM and a slightly older Snapdragon 855 processor. But specs aren't the whole story, luckily. I feel like Google is the only company currently innovating and changing the way that we use our smartphones. What I mean by this is the Pixel 4 feels like it's alive, the way you can interact with it in a number of different ways. How cool is it that you can just squeeze your phone and activate a personal assistant? Try doing this with a real person, I dare ya. And being able to just continuously talk to your assistant without repeating a weird hot word like, hey, ... Or how just reaching for your phone activates the ambient display and shows you relevant information before you even pick it up. And when you do pick it up, before you can even look at the screen, it's unlocked and ready to go because of the new secure face unlock feature. Yes, I know you can unlock it even with your eyes closed, but if somebody would take your fingerprint and put it on the sensor while you're sleeping, it's the same thing. So no big deal. These are just some of the cool, intuitive features of the Pixel. And I don't know about you, but things like pointing your camera at something to get information about it with Google Lens, or just flipping your phone over when you need a break from this digital world that we live in, are a whole lot more important to me than having a phone that it can open an app 0.2 seconds faster than another, or that a phone has a higher benchmark score. Now let's talk about what most people would find important about a phone, myself included. Starting with design. You know the saying, different strokes for different folks? Well, I think this is the case here. Personally, I like the simplistic styling of the Pixel 4, but I do miss the two-tone glass design on the back from previous models. The Pixel 4 comes in 3 colors now, just black, clearly white, and also orange. Clearly white is my favorite, but when I pre-ordered my unit, something went wrong with the ordering process and I had to reorder, and when I wanted to reorder the same color, it had a longer delivery time, so I just went with just black and picked up this D brand matte white skin, and it looks pretty much the same. You can't tell the difference other than having a different color power button. I love how Google does colorful power buttons, by the way. So to me, the Pixel 4 looks great. And the only thing I wish was different is the button placement on the right side of the phone. I wish the power button and the volume rocker would switch positions. Maybe it's just me, but I like to have the power button under the volume rocker. And this is just nitpicking, but I just wanted to mention it. Now to display. We all want a sharp, color accurate display that we can watch our beloved content from YouTube and Netflix on, while also having a good browsing experience on social media. The Pixel's display is perfect for consuming content with its 6.3 Quad HD OLED panel. To make things even better, it comes with a buttery smooth 90Hz display that I can never go back from ever since using the OnePlus 7 Pro. I also love that there's no notch or a hole punch in the display. For the camera, Google did the right thing here by just giving it a bigger forehead. All in all, it's an awesome display, but it's not all rainbows and unicorns. The screen doesn't get as bright as I would like. I have the brightness consistently over 80%, whereas on other phones like the Note 10 between 50 and 60%. The next important thing to me is performance, and once again the Pixel delivers in this area. The Snapdragon 855 isn't the latest from Qualcomm anymore, but still performs great, and Google's software optimization for this phone feels even faster than the likes of the OnePlus 7T Pro with more RAM and the latest Snapdragon 855 Plus processor. Gaming is also smooth with no dropped frames or stutters. The 855 is still a great chipset and it performs well. The Pixel 4 also comes with stereo speakers again, but only one front facing this year and one bottom facing. And to my ears, they sound great. They get loud enough without sounding distorted or tinny. If I do have to complain about something in the performance area, it's the battery not performing as good as something like the iPhone 11 Pro. Don't get me wrong, it will get you through a whole day. Well, the Pixel 4 XL will at least. I haven't tested the smaller Pixel 4, but I've heard that it's a similar experience and it should get you through a whole day. But I just feel like Google coulda did a little bit more here with the battery performance because the 4 to 5 hour screen on time is a little behind the competition. But at the end of the day, if your phone gets you through the day, it should be okay. Man, maybe I should have been a rapper. You just throw your phone on the charger at the end of the day, wake up in the morning, and you're good to go. I don't know about you guys, but this is okay for me, as long as my phone gets me through a full day. And now to one of the most important, if not the most important feature on a phone for me is the camera. And if you haven't heard or been living under a rock, Google Pixel has been dominating this category for the past 4 years. This year, it's still one of the best cameras that you can get on any smartphone. Although other companies have closed the quality gap, it's still one of my favorite phones to take pics on. The whole experience is just easy and it encourages you to try to take creative shots. The things like auto tracking of the subject to make sure that you have the things you want in focus every time, or the best shot feature that makes sure you get the shot that you wanted even if you were too early or too late at pressing the shutter button. It even has a new feature that automatically tracks the faces that you typically photograph to make sure that their faces are always in focus in group shots. This feature is awesome if you have kids. The new astrophotography mode is also super cool. It's amazing how you can just point your smartphone at a dark sky and get impressive shots of the stars in the Milky Way. You just set your phone on a tripod and let it do its magic. I haven't had many opportunities to test this because I do live in cloudy Germany, but I do have this one example of me shooting out of my office window. It can now also show you how your HDR pic will look live in the viewfinder before you even take the shot, which comes in handy. You can also now adjust the exposure and the shadows before taking the picture to make sure things are just how you want and exposed correctly before you take the shot. Features like Playground are also fun. You can download different packs to integrate into your AR world, like Pokemon or Marvel's superheroes, and interact with them in an AR world. It's a fun feature to play around with if you get bored. And now to get to the elephant in the room, Google decided not to equip the Pixel 4 with an ultra-wide camera, and everyone was outraged. Google feels like a telephoto lens is more useful to most people and gave us a 2x optical zoom in addition to the super res zoom feature, where Google uses its awesome computational photography magic to make it possible to get an 8x digital zoom with excellent image quality. And boy, I don't know how they do it, but it's amazing. I use this feature a lot and it's very impressive. Would an ultra wide angle lens be nice to have? Of course, I love taking pics with an ultra wide. I feel like Samsung does it the best, followed by Apple, but I didn't even miss this feature while using the Pixel. Maybe because the camera itself is so good that I didn't even care about it anymore, or I just didn't find myself in a situation where needing it recently. But like in every other category, there is something that I do have to complain about. And for me personally, I think it's a shame that the Pixel 4 doesn't record 4K video at 60 frames per second. I use my iPhone 11 a lot for B-roll. It's an awesome second camera for my video content. It would be nice to be able to do this with the Pixel 4 as well, but unfortunately, we didn't get it. Maybe Google will give it to us in a software update in the future, but who knows? Okay, maybe one last gripe. Why, Google, did you take away the free full resolution Google Photos cloud backup? That was a very convincing selling point for me and probably for a lot of other people, especially since the Pixel starts at 64 gigabytes. Knowing that I had unlimited cloud storage for all of my full resolution 4K videos and full resolution 12 megapixel pictures, I didn't mind having a 64 gigabyte base storage. Okay, I understand you probably want to promote your new Google One cloud storage, but I kind of missed the full resolution backups. But that still doesn't take away from the fact that the Pixel 4 is probably one of the most underrated phones this year. And I personally love this phone and the experience I have with it. And I'm totally not biased in any way whatsoever. Team Pixel. So if it wasn't obvious enough, the Pixel 4 XL gets a P rating on the PIT rating system. So that just means if you have the money, go out and buy it. I can definitely recommend this phone. If you want a phone that just pushes innovation and changes the way that you use your slab of glass and metal, I can definitely recommend picking this up. Next week is Black Friday. I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of sales, which would make this phone even more attractive. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like this content and follow me on Instagram at Peacock Inside Tech if you want more daily content like this. So see you in the next video.